The death penalty has long been one of the most controversial and talked about issues in our country. It's the topic of many debates and many heated discussions in the United States. You may be asking why. Well, the death penalty, also known as capital punishment, is currently legal in only 33 of the 50 states. The death penalty has specific requirements that it needs to take place. These requirements prevent cruel and unusual punishment, which is outlined in our 8th Amendment of our Constitution. The death penalty in its current form just simply does not work. And you may be asking why. Well, a death penalty case could cost on average of $2.4 million, not even guaranteeing that the person in this case will win his or her case. The case would go through a long Court of Appeals and many different trials and see many different juries throughout our federal court system, only to be shot down and still have the inmate put on death row. And speaking of death row, 85% of U.S. counties have not even had one person executed in 45 years. These are including counties where death penalty is legal and the process is just not taking place. This was provided by statisticbrain.com. Another issue with the death penalty is that it costs more than housing an inmate for the rest of his or her life. This is insane to me. I see this as one of the biggest issues because lethal injection costs so much to administer because of its issues around it. Many of the pharmacies in the United States refuse to make the medication that is used for lethal injection, and that results in our government having to outsource to other countries or other companies outside of our borders to get these medicines that are needed. Our nation needs a change, and I see this as an opportunity to go towards rehabilitation instead of hard punishment. And you may see that as being soft on our prisoners, but I think it is a good change and a good move for our country. This could help our serious criminals and our heinous offenders become more productive members of society and change their ways for the better and help to enhance our country. If we take a look at other prison systems, such as Germany's, unlike the US's, they focus on a more structured rehabilitation system, and they focus on making inmates productive members of society again, even though they have committed horrible crimes such as murder or rape or anything that would land them in jail for life. Now, speaking of their life sentence max is only 15 years. This is much different from the United States, where we could serve 20, 25 years to life without the option of parole. Now, parole in Germany still can be denied, but there is appeals, and many of these appeals are won. Now, in these prisons, they're set up as more of an open field, and the prisoners have much more rights than they would in the United States prisons. Solitary confinement may only take place for several hours out of the day, and it may not even take place at all if the offenders are not deemed dangerous enough. And that's the whole structure of their prison. If someone is deemed more dangerous, they're treated differently than the others, but if they become deemed less dangerous, they slowly become more integrated into the society, and they slowly become more productive. This is much different from our own prisons, where everyone is treated as dangerous and everyone is locked up 20 almost all day. This is brought by Vice and the Marshall Project. Our justice system is in a great need of reform, and it has many, many problems that we need to address. I believe that it's time for change in our country. Many see this as a struggle or an unwinnable battle, but if we all put our heads together and we all push, we can take action and stand up for what's right and make change in this country once again.